Alrighty. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special video. And I say that because I thought I'd do something a little different. You know, I said the extras channel is for my experiments or videos that I know won't do well on the main channel. And I thought, you know what, this is a good experiment. This is something I've never done before, but you know, it might be a fun thing to put out there. So what this is, as the title would suggest, I did a series earlier, or about almost a week ago. I'm recording this on May 20th. This series took place on May 16th. I'm a bit late to get around to it. But basically, I've been learning the 96 gal off camera, because I've seen some pretty decent success with it. It really helped get me into S rank out of A rank. And I've been running it a lot to try and get into S plus with this. And I thought, you know what? A good way that I might be able to get better at this game is if I just record a series and put it out there for feedback and critique. So that's what this is. This is an entire series that I recorded. This was not broadcasted live on the main channel. This was done off camera. I went back and recorded the replays after it, as the battle replay screen here would suggest. But yeah, so I'm just gonna let this play, and I will avoid pausing it, but I will briefly chime in here and there with decisions or thoughts that I have. And basically, it's just, hey, let me know where I can improve. Let me know what I do well, what I'm not doing well, because I really want to be competitive with the 96 in addition to my other weapons that I have McChicken run. So any feedback is always appreciated. If you guys want me to do more of these, if you guys like these, please by all means let me know, and I'll do more of these, and maybe with the other weapons too, because as my regulars will tell you, the 96 is fairly new to the McChicken lineup. So if you want to see some of her other weapons that I'd like to say I'm a bit more familiar with, let me know. But if not, yeah. So without further ado, we're just going to jump into this. And yeah, as always, thank you for your time, guys, and enjoy the chaos. I might pause it in between rounds if I have a lot that I want to go over. Sorry about the audio. It's going to be a little quiet. That's just how it came out of the oven. I knew I should have adjusted it in post, but whatever. So this is game one. I'll show every game, obviously, in this series for the whole thing. So just while we get opened up here, I'd like to just kind of explain. So whenever I open with the 96, I like to throw a sprinkler somewhere in base. I should not have jumped down there with that hammer. I knew better than that. But I like to throw a sprinkler somewhere early in base, because usually base gets neglected. So see, I put one down right there. And usually because that helps quite a bit with getting the special charge back up. One thing you're also going to notice during this series is I'm still trying to get used to the range that this weapon has. I've already accepted that its aim is a bit all over the place, but this weapon's weird. It simultaneously has more range than I think it does, yet it has less range than I think it does. And I think it just goes for how many other weapons have surprisingly more range than you would think, like the decavitors, or splatanas, I guess, for that matter, or even like the dynamos. But yeah, this. So right now here, I'm just trying to use that tower for control. We're at a disadvantage even before that wipeout, so I'm just trying to be annoying for them and maybe regroup with the team, but didn't quite work out so well there as they wipe us out and get the good push. Again, I jumped down with the hammer. I know better than that. So I'm a bit hesitant to jump down here, mainly because I see them all over down there and I'm worried about sharks. But right here, I just say, screw it. Gotta go for it. Drop the vac just because they're about to wipe us out. Pivot with that dually and somehow get a triple kill out of the ink vac, which is huge. I think if I let that dually get around me, they drop me, they probably wipe us out again and they get the knockout right there. But McChicken drops 3 of them with the ink vac and we live to fight another day. Right here, I can already tell you I'm playing way too close to that tower. Yeah, that roller should not be able to pick me off. I outranged that thing by a country mile. Again, it goes back to what I say. The biggest thing I'm trying to learn with this thing is its range. And reminding myself that, hey, I outrange more weapons than I think I do. Maybe it's because I'm used to playing frontline weapons. That it's just kind of a force of habit, but not really, because I also play some backliners. Yeah, it's just a weird learning curve for me. So obviously, I'm just dropping the ink vac here, just trying to get something going for the team. If we can get just a little bit of momentum going, let the team catch up and push ahead a little bit. Somehow I wasn't killed by the hammer that time. Yeah, another thing I'm trying to learn with this weapon is to just jump around. I have her hat, McChicken's hat. It has 3 ability chunks of intensify action. And yet I find myself often standing around. Like, see here, I'm being pretty mobile. I'm swimming, I'm jumping, I'm ducking, dodging, weaving, all that good stuff. So it's not like I'm incapable of doing that. Just being mobile is something I'm not really used to. It's a bit of a learning curve. Right here. So that wasn't me like being intentional trying to just hug that tower. I was trying to climb it, but I was failing miserably. But somehow it worked out for us because the team super jumps to the top of that tower, knocks him out and takes the lead after they push us all the way to 16 and we end up knocking them out. Insane comeback there in game 1. We definitely got lucky there in a few spots. Obviously everybody super jumping in there at the end and getting the knockout was probably the most lucky part, and also avoiding that dually when they were right on our doorstep. Triple gold though from McChicken. Decent performance. She gets her fist bump. That's most important. She finishes with a 10-8, 1,300 points, 3 ink vacs. Not bad, but she was definitely playing way too aggressive. She should have been backing off a little bit. So here we go with game 2. And an issue that I have just with tower control, not an issue, that's the wrong word, but something I'm trying to learn is, and maybe you guys can help me out with this, but when do I know if I'm supposed to ride the tower or not? Like, whose role is it to ride the tower, and how do I know? Because you see so many different random weapon comps in solo queue. And I guess it's kind of unwritten, like, hey, somebody just kind of go for it when it's time to push, but that's usually what I do. But sometimes it feels like guys are just standing around staring at the tower, and then we get all splatted, and I'm like, oh shoot, were they waiting on me? Or yeah. They walk off the edge. I have no idea what that was. I swear there was land there. Here I'm trying to be a bit more mindful of the range. I know they have a lot of range, but at the same time there are 3 of them down there, and I'm trying to be you know, aggressive with it, but yeah, and when I get aggressive, that happens. Yeah, this team had a really good Squelchy player. In here, just trying to harass him from the back. Hit the lucky splat off the tower. Right there, I see the crab tank, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna waste him. Just with the ink back, I felt like that was pretty safe. Got a splat out of it. As we take 3 of them down into the wipeout, McChicken jumps down, gets the double kill. Jump off tower to try to help push just with the range, but everybody kind of got off at the same time. But thankfully somebody went back. I don't know who did that. Again, just trying to guard the tower and where it's trying to go. Take down the dual user. Again, I feel like in this match I was a lot more mobile in terms of jumping around and swimming in combat, and I think it showed in the KDs for this round. But as again, guys, the whole point of this video is for you guys to give me feedback, let me know what's going well, what's not going well, and so I can get better. Especially those of you who know more about the 96 than I do, because again, I'm still learning this thing. This is still a new process. Somehow missed the Splatana, dude. But I should have just... in hindsight, I should have just aimed it up and launched it into their base, but, you know, I could have swore I could have gotten him there with that and then got back in front of the tower to help push it. Hindsight's always 20/20 with the ink vac. Especially when they know how to take it down. So that was a good fight with the Splatana. You know, he was completely removed from the tower, and then his buddy came down to also help him with me. So, I mean, we took 2 eyes off the tower, which helps out a lot. And I was doing a really good job of bobbing and weaving around through there, but we just couldn't get it to fall in our favor. But yeah, we wasted their time. And here I drop an ink vac when they're down 1. Wasn't paying attention, and I hold it here for as long as I can, because as soon as I popped that ink vac and looked up at the scoreboard and saw that 3 of them were gone, I was like, man, shoot, I just wasted that ink vac. Could have pushed it a little closer and then dropped it. Yeah, I'm just on tower trying to keep it moving, because it's like a 5-second cooldown, I believe, if I remember correctly, from when somebody gets off the tower to when it starts rolling backwards. So I'm just trying to keep it in place. And here's the Splatana rematch. Both of us jumping around, and this time McChicken gets the better of him. Tower comes right back to us, but I mean, when you're up 26, that's not a bad thing. It makes it easier for us just to jump back on the tower. Here, I'm just harassing the flank. Because again, if they want to... I have ink vac here, so obviously I'm just going to pop it, climb right on top, and sit there. But for that flank, it feels like I always get pinched off that side flank. They jump down. So I was just trying to harass them, make sure they couldn't try to flank us, just keep them away. But no, that was a good match. The biggest problem with me in there is McChicken gets another triple gold. The ink vac timing was terrible that whole round. Not just that one time where we wiped him out, but yeah, ink vac placement was not good. But she finishes with a 10, 6, and 8 ink vacs, 1,500 points painting. It's a solid round. And now we're into game 3. Opening brine is something that I really don't know how to do with the 96. Like, I don't want to sit on that first opening ledge that overviews like where that hider is as we get that early splat. Just because you know, we have a Hydra of our own that needs to be there. So I sit there for a little bit before moving in. But just that opening gambit for 96 is what I'm still trying to figure out on Brine. It's easier on other stages, but Brine is not hard, just confusing. Here I just sit on the tower. If you notice back there when someone was just super jumping to me, I just kind of had McChicken just stand there and spin around because I didn't know what else to do. Nobody else was on the tower, so obviously somebody had to stay and keep it moving. And there wasn't really anything to paint. I don't really know what else I could have done there, but just... I mean, we got the tower pushed to 48. And here's McChicken just harassing them from the wall, walking across with the tower. God, the RNG on this weapon can be so unforgiving. Not that I should have gotten a splat there, but just in general, this weapon is all over the place sometimes. And huge shout outs to my chat for letting me know that when you swim in your ink, it resets that RNG and makes the weapon more accurate. Because apparently the longer you fire it at once, the less accurate it becomes. That's something I didn't know until fairly recently. So thanks, chat. Again, just throw the sprinkler into an empty base. Help get the special. That was a good play on that eliter. Also, putting the sprinkler down at spawn is also really nice because, you know, if you're doing a series and you're trying to get golds to soften the blow or add points, I guess, to your total, then it's easy to get Turf Inker. She can frequently get Turf Inker. So right there, I was pointing right at the eliter, and he knew I was getting ready to fire at him, so he backed off. So I held it, turned to the left, and fired. I could hold it in his direction to get that eliter to back off, and then launch it to where the main group is, or where the tower is wanting to go. But it didn't really work out. I mean, McChicken runs in here and gets a double, but this Kaiwan guy, you're about to see he's going off. He solos our whole team here. He takes all four of us down there as they keep moving the tower. We had the opportunity to repel them there, but look at him. I mean, he's all over the place. We're not painting our base very well, and he's just freely swimming around. That was the huge difference maker. We just could not keep that junior splatter shot out of our base. And then they end up pushing it to 2, getting off the tower, jumping right back on, and knocking us out for our first loss, bringing the series to 2-1. It's always the stress of getting the first 3 wins that are the worst part about a series. He's like, well, shoot, I'm in S rank. I have to have 3 wins to profit. When McChicken finishes with a 6-6 and 3 ink facts, not great. But that Kaiwan dude who went off, he had a 21-3 with 6 wave breakers. That's why we lost right there. But I did not play well that round either. Moving on to game 4. Now this time we have Kaiwan on our team, so I mean, yeah, so get the best player to flip to our team. But they have a GooTuber on their team, and every time I see a GooTuber against us, I know it's self-fulfilling prophecy. For some reason, every time there's a GooTuber on the other team, we just lose every time. I don't know why. Indecisiveness with the splat bomb there. It's like, oh, I'm going to commit and go forward, see the splat bomb. Oh, I'm going to turn around and go back and get away from it. Blows up. Just kind of spur of the moment thing. Again, decent job of moving and strafing, not being a straight target for them. Because you can jump up and down, but if you're just like moving forward to back and you're still in their same line of sight, like you're not doing anything, you're still going to get splatted easily. That was a risky play there for me to climb the tower while turning my back to them. I'm lucky I didn't get splatted sooner. Just trying to stay mobile to distract the ball point. The goo tour was way up there. I have no idea why. So one thing you'll notice in this round is that I let that Octo Brush get way too close all around. Like that whole round, I just let that Octo Brush waltz right up to me. And it goes back to me just not fully understanding the range that I have. I keep thinking it's more of a frontline unit, but it's not. It doesn't want to be that up close. It does not have the range for it. As I keep pushing in closer to that tower, I should not have done that. I can keep them off there without crossing that gap. And then they end up knocking us out. So the series is now 2 flat. And yeah, main issue with that, I let that Octo Brush get way too close. And you'd think as an Octo Brush main myself, I would know that. But yeah, McChicken finishes with a 5, 6, and 2 ink backs. A whole lot of nothing. But what's interesting is that this next game, game 5, we actually get the rematch. But they trade the Goo Tuber for an S-Blast. And the Goo Tuber didn't really do anything that last round. So this team actually just got better in a way with the S-Blast on their team. But we end up picking up an Eliter in between matches, so we got a little bit better. But yeah, so going into this match, I was like, ah, shoot. Picking up these guys again. And the big thing that I'm reminding myself going into this match is not to let that stupid Octo Brush get so close to me. As I fire the ink vac and then let him get close to me. So off to a hot start with that resolution. And they drop this guy. Yeah, this is weird. This guy uses his ink vac here. He's absorbing it off of me. And then he just forgets that I'm there. You know, what's funny is I was swimming in place there and just thinking this is never going to work. He's going to launch this thing right at me, which was kind of the point. Because then it wastes an ink vac. Also, I did a rare super jump back to base to avoid the Kraken. That's a habit I really need to make more of, but more so like super jumping to our back line. Again, I'm way too close to the front lines right now. But yeah, so a couple interesting plays there. I actually super jumped out of danger. And I sharked with the 96 cal. Again, here I'm doing a much better job of keeping that Octo Brush away. I think he must have been really feeling himself that last game. And I missed the ink back there. I meant to shoot it up on top of the platform, which would have gotten that Octo Brush. But like here, like I was just saying, I back up as he advances in. I keep reminding myself, keep him out of your range. You outrange him by a mile. And here I'm using the tower for cover. But yeah, as I was saying, I think that Octo Brush player was really feeling himself after that last game because he was playing super aggressive. He wasn't sharking. He was just running in at us because, you know, he made it work in the last game, in game 1, and they beat us pretty handily. So he Probably thought he could get away with it. Here the S-Blast runs out of ink, but the Octobrush comes in and ambushes. But we get the lucky wipeout here. Again, way too aggressive here. But somehow it ends up working out for me. I know the ink vac lasts shorter when it's sitting on the tower, but I just wanted to keep that tower moving. And we actually get a really good push there out of it. And the team gives me a good super jump back in. I'm just trying to paint as much as I can because, you know, you don't want to leave a whole lot of orange for them. And for some reason, the Octobrush decides to come down here and fight me. But once again, keep him out of my range and splat him. It's amazing how easy it is to fight an Octobrush when you remember that you outrange him. And we get the wipeout right into the knockout to bring the series to 3-2. I was letting out the biggest sigh of relief. Because again, it's those first 3 wins that are the most stressful. Because now you get your 3 wins and you know that you're profiting. Anyways, McChicken finished with an 11-4 for ink vacs. A solid performance out of her. Again, still just a little too aggressive on that front line. But to be fair, I think everything on that team outranges me except the Octobrush. Anyways, game 6. We return all of the same group except we lost Kaiwan, our junior splatter shot user, but we replaced him with a Japanese splatter shot player. So if anything, we just got an upgrade. That's crazy. Again, opening up Brian is still just what should I be doing here? And it doesn't matter what weapon I run with McChicken. I always forget just how much range Dynamo has. See, that's what I should be doing, using those ledge and height differences to my advantage. See, here I'm moving around really good to stall out that shield. Then we drop him down to 3 and we get the push going. Somehow dodge that hammer. Usually I'm a magnet for hammers. I didn't see the person super jumping in there at the time. But in hindsight, I should have paid more attention. But again, I'm just bobbing and weaving here. I'm very aware right now that I just need to be a nuisance. But that splatling comes in, I start missing everything. And I mean, a little too aggressive for that kind of a push, I think, on my end. Considering we weren't even at the halfway or back to neutral. But I mean, it could have went a lot worse, so I definitely got a little lucky there. So here I'm noticing that they like that flank, especially the mint user. But I move right back up middle and just drop ink vac just to keep the push going because we're so close to taking the lead. Hold the charge for a little bit, try to see where they're all standing. Back off, drop the mint. Pretty good stance right here from McChicken, I would say. And get her back on the tower. Notice the Dynamo trying to move in. And for some reason, I rush right on her. I don't know what I was thinking. But that was a good push on the team. And again, just... I need to wait for that Dynamo to run out of ink or to swim away. Because that thing outranges me, I'm pretty sure. Or if I don't, it's by a hair where you can't reliably sniper from range. Also, I got really lucky with my teammates stepping up there with that hammer. But these guys are getting a good run in. I catch the Dynamo and its slow start up. Get a nice double there. Person jumps off. We have advantage. Get the push going. Dynamo jumps down. I just want that Dynamo gone. That thing has put in the most work for their team right now. At least that's what it felt like to me. So use ink vac, get the Dynamo out of there, and push in. Try to be a nuisance, but they're a lot closer than I thought. here I'm trying to climb the tower again. I'm not just doing that to try to distract him. I try to get on the tower. I don't know why I tried to climb the tower. Like, just looking back on like, what am I doing? There's a mini splat lane on the tower and I'm armed with a 96. Like, I am not doing anything in that situation. At least I'm smart enough to recognize that, you know, big bubble is not something I can blindly rush. But again, how do you fight a dynamo with a 96? Here I drop ink vac just because I see two of them dropping in. So I know if I just ink vac and cover their attacks, we can drop three of them right there because one was down. And then we can get a good push moving. Because right now we don't need to score to win. We just need to keep that tower away from our end. And we can keep stalling them out. So that's why I used my ink vac there on the double super jump. Again, outranged by a dynamo. Kept her busy though, as the tower just moved right past her. So I guess some good came out of it. You can see there, you see her just swimming up. Pop ink vac in the third checkpoint just to get us past it. Again, I know ink vac is shorter. And we're able to knock him out. I meant to shoot that ink vac on the tower itself just in case somebody tried to swim up, but I overshot that. But no, that brings the total to 4-2 going into game 7 for a win the series or lose the series finale. So, I mean, anytime you get 4 wins, like, I'm happy. McChicken finishes with a 12-7, 5 ink vacs. Again, that was it. That was better in terms of aggressiveness. Like, I was a lot more away from the front line, but still just a bit too aggressive. Unless that's what I'm supposed to be doing. But again, this is why I'm posting this series for feedback as we go into game 7. Thankfully, we're able to retain the same group, which is big because this group had pretty good chemistry, I thought. I thought we played well together, which is really, in my experience, it's really rare to find in series. But it seems like every time I go into series, I'm up against people who have no idea what pushing an objective means or holding and waiting for an advantage means, while we get matched up against teams who I swear are like a group, like in a call together. Like, even though that isn't supposed to be possible with series, I swear there are people who find a way. Just with how well other teams' chemistry can have. And here, ink vac just to keep it moving. Keep them from harassing us on that flank. Gets a nice double there with the ink vac and takes out their leader somehow. I have no idea why their leader was so far away, but hey, works out for us. Again, here I'm just jumping around. I'm moving off the tower, just being a nuisance. And it's working out for her, especially since she's marked. Gets another ink vac to keep that tower moving. So this is what I feel the right level of aggressiveness is. She gets another kill off the ink vac. And then she gets a bit too aggressive. I have the mindset to stay ahead of the tower, just keep painting, use the weapon's range. But oftentimes it just leaves me in bad situations. Somehow I couldn't get the tower cleared there. I was shooting at the feet of the opponent sitting on that thing. That was embarrassing. But the team is giving really good super jump opportunities here. Also, because of these replays, it sometimes looks like McChicken is just standing in base, not moving. But in reality, what I'm doing is checking map. Again, good pick off that flank to get another ink vac. Can I pick up this dude's around me? I just try to keep him in front of McChicken. I hold it for as long as I can, but that leader turns his attention to me and pops McChicken. I like that I held it there. And I was banking on that leader wanting to take the tower, which he might have. I wasn't really looking there, but I was just holding it again to keep them away, because they run away when I whip out the ink vac. So if they're just running back in anticipation of the ink vac coming, then why not hold it and keep them away in anticipation? We pushed them all the way to 2. And here I'm just harassing the flank. I don't want them to come down and get that edge on us. I want them to come right down the middle where our leader can pick them off. Supposedly. And here I am just harassing their leader, just getting him away. Whip out the leader, or the Inkvac, pardon me. Just to let the team catch up. Also keep them from raining fire off the ledge. Overall, solid cards. But here I'm getting pushed by the tower. And it pushes me into enemy ink, and then we get splatted. So, not great. And we get wiped out. But that's me not paying attention to where exactly the tower's path is. I was like, okay, I'm ahead of it. I can keep painting. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's pushing me? Oh, I'm dead. But yeah, a minute left. We're up 73 on them. My whole thing right here is just to survive and annoy them. And then when the time is right, just get the Inkvac going. Like right now, get them away from the tower and claim it. I probably could have waited a little bit longer to do this. Shoot the Inkvac through that person. That was part of the plan, but I was kind of hoping the Inkvac, not the Inkvac, the Eliter, I don't know why I'm getting those confused, would have moved down further into that range. That's kind of what I thought at the time he was wanting to do. I'm glad I took notes on this so I can relive my thoughts, even though this was 4 days ago. Like, I have no idea what I was doing there. Like, the tower's not even at midway point, and I'm already a quarter of the way up their base when we're up 73. There's no reason for me to risk that. Just find a good vantage point and just make standing on the tower a death sentence. You can get that Eliter to back off. I got the Inkvac, so now I'm just going right for the tower. Open Inkvac. Somehow don't die there. But get Inkvac still on the tower and let it ride. And that's it. That's the end of the series. A 5-2 victory. This was an interesting series. It could have gone 1-3 if we didn't have that insane comeback in game one. So it's funny how quickly the pendulum swings on these kind of matches. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get the stats for this game. But I mean, it doesn't really matter on game 7. I mean, you win, you win. I thought McChicken was pretty decent there. Again, just a little too aggressive in some spots. But overall, I thought that was the, in terms of placement, her best round. But again, let me know what you guys think. So yeah, that'll do it for this one. Overall thoughts, like I kept saying throughout the video, I need to continue to realize that I have more range than I realize, and that I am not necessarily a frontline unit, as well as getting the Inkvac timings down. I felt like the Inkvac timings got better, but in those early rounds, they were not great. I felt like I was using them sometimes as like a panic special at times, which is a habit I'm still trying to work on. But no, that was a good series. Good teams, guys that knew what they were doing. And yeah, so again, please let me know your feedback down below, your thoughts, your criticisms. Let me know what I do well, what I don't do well, what I need to work on. I'm really trying to learn the 96 in addition to my other gear. So again, I can be a proper team player, because, you know, part of the fun is knowing that you did your job and you weren't dragging your team down. So that's what I'm going for. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you want me to do more of these, and if you do, what weapon do you want me to try? But yeah, if you want more Splatoon content, check out the main channel. And that's all I've got. So yeah, thank you everybody as always for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye for now, everybody.